Hello, Miss Spivey's theater classes. My name is Lisa Miller, and I'm a lighting designer here in the Dallas-Fort Worth area. And I thought I would bring you with me today to the McKinney Performing Arts Center, where I'm working on the Laramie project for the Young Actors Guild. This is the courtroom theater. It has a pretty small stage, no fly system, so we have to be really creative with our scenery. We can't pull scenery in and out like you do at a big theater. And there's about 400 seats here. It's a pretty unique space, but all theaters have some type of uniqueness about them. Anyway, I'm going to answer some questions here, and if you'll be patient with me, I don't have a cameraman today, so we're going to move around a little bit, and just be patient with me. But let's start here with some questions. So the first one was from Paxton, and he or she asked, how do you make the lights different colors? Well, as you can see up there, the lights are red and blue. And how I make those different colors is by putting gel in front of them. And for example, this is a blue gel. It would make the light coming through it blue, kind of like a stained glass window. And this is purple. And then here is red. And they're just like a piece of paper, a real thin piece of paper, so they don't last forever. And we have to change them out every now and again. And another question that was asked from Lakota asked, if there was one light, have you ever put two different colors in the light to change it to two different colors at the same time? And yes, I do that quite frequently. Sometimes we'll put a color in front of the light, and then we'll put what's called frost that will soften the edge and make it look really nice. And then other times it gets really creative, and then like I'll have a split gel, and this one is red and orange. And once the light gets to the stage, though, it'll kind of mix together. So that's to answer your question. Yes, I do that often, and a lot of times I'll do that when it's like trees. When you're trying to make it look like sunlight's coming through trees, I'll use a green and a yellow and just kind of make it look real nice that way. And the colors too can tell the audience something about the show itself. It can tell it whether it's daytime or if it's nighttime. It can tell whether you're inside or outside. Does the show take place in a park, or does it take place in somebody's living room? I can use colors sometimes to work that out for the audience, give them an idea, or do different things to enhance the set and make it brighter colors or make the costumes brighter colors, things like that. So we use color a lot to enhance the show. Let's see, another question that was asked was from Jada, and it says, have you ever used a disco ball or a chandelier? I do it all the time, and those are what we call practicals. A disco ball might be for a musical or dance show, something like that. And then a chandelier, one of my favorite chandeliers I used on a show called Young Frankenstein, and it looked like torches, and it had lamps in it that looked like they were flickering firelight. So it was really kind of cool. So moving on from that, though, talking about color, so I also have here for you an LED, and these are kind of new to the theater world, and they're a little bit expensive, but we use them, we're starting to use them more and more. LEDs, we don't have to put gel in front of them. It doesn't take a lot of power. Some of you might have LED lights at home, but this one in particular, I'm going to turn you around now so you can see the wall. This particular light I brought with me today to show you, and it's an LED. It's kind of special, and it's mine, and I'm not going to hang it for this show, but I wanted to show you what it would look like. So I'm going to go around the corner here and show you on the wall how it can change colors. Here we go. So that's red, and I did that just by bringing up a certain channel on the board, and then I can bring up green. I hope that looks green to you because it's really green here. And blue. There's a blue color. Maybe if I put my hand in front of it, you'll see how blue it is. No, not really. Anyway, and then white. So this particular light, I can hang it up and make all different kinds of colors on stage. And of course, if you have a whole bunch of them, then you can really change the dynamics of what's going on stage all at the same time. It's kind of cool. Okay, on to other things. I'm going to take this out, and I'm going to turn you around this way because I'm going to bring down one of the trusses from the ceiling. See those lights way up there? I'm going to bring that down to the floor so we can play with them for a minute. Hang on, okay? But you can watch. I'm back. I sure hope that worked the way I wanted it to and you could see that coming down. So up in the ceiling here at MPAC, they have chain motors. And these trusses are put on chain motors, and I was over using what's called a pickle. I don't know why, but using a pickle to bring those chain motors, to make those chain motors work and bring this lighting truss down so that we can play with it for a minute. Okay, hold on one second. I'm going to unplug you. And we're going to go over here so you can be closer to where the lights are. And I can show you a couple of things on them. I gotta figure out where to set you down though. That's gonna be the tricky part. So let's see. Right here might work. Hopefully that won't be shining in your eyes. We'll get to that in a minute. So this light has a blue gel in it. And that's where I put the gel, is in the front of the light. And then I wanted to look for a gobo holder. I wanted to show you something kind of cool. And there aren't any here. 1 second, I have to go find a gobo holder and tell you what a gobo is. Super duper sorry, but I found one. This is called a gobo holder, and what's cool about it is that it will hold a gobo. And if you remember a little while ago, I was talking about trees and leaves and things like that. Well, this is how I put this pattern inside that gobo holder and put it in the light, and the light will project this. There's all kinds of gobos. I have a whole book here of gobos. And I've got windows. There's a window. And let's see. Lightning. It wants to come out. There's some lightning. Hope you can see that. Can you see that? And then got hearts. Those are little bitty hearts. I'll find bigger hearts here in a minute. Oh, clouds. There's clouds. Just different kinds of patterns, like there's spinning pattern. Let's see if I can find my heart. I don't see any hearts. Well, anyway, so I can use this gobo. Hang on. Put it into the gobo holder. And I'm going to put it in the light. Just like that. I'm going to sharpen it up so you can see it in a second. And now I've made trees. Can you see them? So that's all made with that pattern that you saw. And I'm pulling it in and out so you can see it's inside the light. But I just put those palm trees up on the stage. And sometimes you can use gobos when you don't have a whole lot of scenery, which happens here a lot. But there's all kinds of gobos. And if you search online on Google, you could Google G-O-B-O, gobo. And I bet you would find books and books and books of all kinds of patterns, because I'm just telling you there's a million of them. And you can get special ones made with your name on them or somebody's initials, like for a wedding or something like that. You could do all of that. A company logo. They'll make anything you want into a gobo. Okay, let me go grab my questions. Came down the wrong aisle. Okay. So another question that was asked was from Tegan, who asked, have you ever gotten shined in the eyes by a light? Yes, all the time. This happens all the time, and it's actually part of my job to look into the light and make sure that the hot spot, because there's a hot spot in a light, is shining where it's supposed to be. When there's a whole bunch of them, you really need to know where each one of them is shining. But I have a very special toy that I can use sometimes when my eyes are tired or I don't want to do it. And it's called a gaffer's glass. And this is a gaffer's glass. And I can look through it and see the light, or see where the hot spot is in the light. And it's very much like what a welder uses when he welds, because you don't want to look at the light from a welder. But it's very much like that. And you'll see these on movie sets too. They use them a lot. But it's called a gaffer's glass. And it hangs around my neck, and I use it to look at the lights. So then someone else asked, let me see who that was. It was Kingsley asked, do you put different lights in the same light? Well, not really. The lights that we use, and what you call a light bulb at home, we actually call a lamp. And each light has a very unique lamp in it. And so I wouldn't use two different lamps in the same light. I would always want to use the correct lamp. But I might use, and quite often do use, for like a single scene, I might have 6 different lights shining on that scene. I could have 2 from the front and 1 from the back. If you think about when you put a flashlight under your chin and it makes your face look really funny and weird, that's kind of why we focus the lights in theater, so that you look really natural on stage, or you can look scary on stage, or things like that. You get different lighting effects depending on which direction the light's coming from. So I don't use two different lamps in the same light, but I might use several different lights for the same scene in a show. So how many lights are there in an average show? Well, in this space, there's 60 dimmers, so I could use 60 different lights, plus a few more if I wanted to two for them together. A lot of shows that I do, like with the Texas Ballet Theater or with the Fort Worth Opera or the Dallas Opera, they can have upwards of 800 to 1,500 lights for every show, and they could get focused differently for different shows. So that's always changing and it's always different. And you know what, Miss Spivey, if you want to Skype me and set up a time to do that, I would love to talk to y'all some more. Just give me a holler, and I'll see y'all soon. Thanks for watching.